We just had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
So easy.
It's never any fun not being able to go to sleep, just like it wasn't any fun watching Last of Us Season 2. So, in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same. So it really conflicts with what the character is supposed to be portrayed as.
Joel, I think I found something.
Whoa!
What?
No, nothing. It's just your forehead seems bigger than last season.
I think I found a way through.
I'm sorry. That was acting. That's what that was. I don't really care what happens with this movie. I really hope her career is pretty much over. I'd be thrilled to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, Christian, you tell me.
Because Ellie still looks and acts like a 14-year-old from Season 1, even though she's supposed to be 19.
Pedro Pascal just blocked Bella Ramsey on social media. At least, that's what fans are saying. And if the rumors are true, this wasn't just a digital snub, it was the final nail in a Hollywood relationship that's been quietly imploding behind the scenes for months. Because around the same time Pedro reportedly hit that block button, Bella Ramsey was unceremoniously dropped from the Last of Us franchise. No statement, no goodbyes, nothing. And The Last of Us Part 3? Officially dead. Not delayed, not reworked, cancelled. What started as whispers about creative differences has now exploded into a full-on PR firestorm. A leaked audio clip, anonymous sources, and a fan base at war have all painted a chilling picture of betrayal, backroom deals, and career-ending decisions. So, what really happened between Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey? Did Pedro orchestrate her removal and then cut her off completely? Or is Bella the victim of a studio turning its back when she needed it most? Let's break down what really went down. Because this story, it's bigger than just a social media block. It's a total franchise implosion.
Yes, maybe we can prop it open with something and you can slide.
Whoa! Oh my god, what?
Is it getting bigger?
Stop it.
No, seriously, what's with that?
It's fine, Joel.
Does it hurt?
Joel, please. You're making me self-conscious.
I'm sorry, it's just a little bit startling.
Normal head, Joel. Can we just get back to the door things?
Planetary.
Leave it.
It's gonna have its own area code soon.
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back pocket. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them, is they're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
It started quietly, almost too quietly to notice. Fans browsing Pedro Pascal's social media began pointing out something strange. Bella Ramsey's name was missing. No tags, no follows, no history of past posts. And then it hit. She was blocked. The timing couldn't be a coincidence, because the block reportedly came right after the infamous leak tape surfaced, the same week HBO allegedly fired Bella, and days before The Last of Us Part 3 was scrapped altogether. And online, people immediately connected the dots. Was Pedro done playing nice?
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years into the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in, the 2 years it took between seasons. So in the show, Ellie still looks exactly the same, but is supposed to be 5 years older. Also, Ellie still acts exactly the same.
Reddit blew up. TikTok theories spread like wildfire. Screenshots claimed to show Pedro's now pruned follow list. Twitter, X, trended with hashtags like Pedro blocked Bella and Ellygate. Was this his way of sending a message? A digital erasure of someone he once called his favorite scene partner? Or was it just damage control? An effort to distance himself from a scandal that could taint his rising career? Either way, the block sent shockwaves through the fandom, and it didn't come out of nowhere. Just days before the alleged block, an anonymous audio clip dropped online. It was shared late at night on a Last of Us fan Discord under the cryptic title, Bella on Pedro, unedited. What people heard? It was brutal. A voice, allegedly Bella Ramsey's, can be heard ripping into Pedro Pascal. She calls him fake, self-absorbed, and, most damning of all, the reason HBO turned on me. She even suggests Pedro pressured executives to rethink Ellie after the Season 1 backlash. Instantly, the internet split in two. Some believed it was authentic. That's her voice, no doubt, one YouTube breakdown claimed, complete with waveform analysis. Others dismissed it as AI-generated revenge, deepfake drama made to smear a rising star. But truth or not, the damage was done. The tape poured gasoline on Suspicion's fans had already been whispering for months that behind the cameras, things weren't so friendly, that Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey had gone from co-stars to co-conspirators in a drama of their own making. And as the audio continued to circulate, Pedro didn't say a word. No denial, no defense, nothing. Until allegedly he hit block. If you go back to the press tour for season 1, Pedro and Bella looked like the dream team. Behind-the-scenes clips showed them joking, bonding, and constantly praising each other in interviews. Fans shipped their friendship almost as hard as they shipped Joel and Ellie. But something changed. Fast. As the backlash over The Last of Us Part 2 picked up steam, Pedro began pulling back. He stopped posting about the show. He started skipping press appearances. And fans began noticing that Bella was being left to face the criticism alone. Sources now claim that Pedro began declining joint interviews and turning down shared promo obligations. Internally, he was allegedly telling execs, maybe it's time to rethink Ellie. Some believe he was trying to protect his brand. Others say he was bailing on a co-star to avoid going down with the ship. But to Bella, it felt like betrayal. And that's where the leaked tape, if it's real, suddenly makes sense. The anger, the hurt, the accusations. It wasn't just about a show. It was about feeling abandoned by someone who was once in her corner. And for Pedro, that might have been the moment he decided to walk away entirely. Just as fans were still dissecting the leaked audio, HBO made its move. No press release, no formal goodbye, just quiet, surgical action. Bella's name disappeared from internal planning documents. Executives told her reps that The Last of Us Part 3 was no longer in active development. Her contract wasn't being renewed. And just like that, she was out. Internally, the move was described as a creative realignment. But sources close to the production paint a harsher reality. Bella had become a liability to brand stability. Marketing teams had flagged her as polarizing, focus group feedback was brutal, and the fallout from the leaked tape only confirmed their fears. Even worse, one anonymous producer claims Pedro Pascal personally signed off on the decision. He didn't push the button, the source said, but he made sure the button was visible. Bella's PR team tried to spin the story, calling it a planned transition and emphasizing her desire to explore new roles. But fans weren't buying it. Not when she vanished without a word. Not when Pedro started trending for blocking her. Because when a star disappears overnight and the co-star cuts her off digitally, that's not just a career shift, that's exile. Even before the tape leaked, Bella Ramsey was already walking a tightrope. Fans had started resurfacing old interviews, hunting for proof that she was always out of touch. And when they found it, the backlash exploded. One viral clip showed Bella casually brushing off critics, smirking as she said, "I don't really care what people think." To some, that was confidence. But to the more hardcore fans, it felt like a slap in the face. "You don't care?" one Reddit thread asked. "You're mocking the same people who made this franchise what it is." But it wasn't just interviews. Bella's social media history turned into a war zone. She had liked tweets defending Abby, the most controversial character in the game. She posted memes poking fun at the backlash she got after season 1. And when trolls swarmed her mentions, she didn't go silent. She clapped back. That might have played well to a modern, younger fan base, but to HBO execs watching from behind the curtain, it looked like a liability. Sources say her team tried to fix it fast. They reportedly restricted her access to social media, pre-approved all public appearances, and canceled off-script interviews. But it was too late. The narrative had already shifted, from underdog breakout star to radioactive PR risk, and in the cutthroat world of prestige TV, even one wrong tweet can get you replaced. While Bella's name burned through the headlines, Pedro Pascal was moving in the opposite direction, silently, carefully, and strategically. Insiders now say that Pedro had been negotiating his exit for months. He wanted out of The Last of Us, but not with a bang, with a whisper. No messy press, no drama, just a clean break. Behind closed doors, he allegedly told HBO executives he wouldn't return for another season unless the show took a new direction. A phrase so vague it could mean anything, but everyone knew what it really meant. No Bella. And the result? HBO started floating reboot ideas. Talk of new timelines, alternate universes, and at the center of those whispers, a different Ellie. Meanwhile, Pedro kept his public image spotless. No reactions to the tape, no clapbacks, no accidental likes or cryptic tweets. He quietly skipped every Last of Us panel, turned down interviews, and disappeared from franchise PR. Then came The Mandalorian Season 4, then Fantastic Four. By the time Bella was being erased from marketing materials, Pedro was already stepping into Marvel's next billion-dollar franchise. It wasn't just luck, it was chess. He didn't just leave the ship, he made sure it sank behind him. The moment The Last of Us. Part 3 was confirmed canceled, fans began asking, if Bella's gone, who's next? One name flooded the trending charts, Caitlin Dever. To longtime fans, that wasn't a surprise. Dever had been a top fan pick to play Ellie from day one. The resemblance to the in-game Ellie? Uncanny. The acting range? Proven. And now, with the franchise in reboot limbo, the timing felt suspicious. Sources say Caitlin was actually HBO's first choice before Season 1, but scheduling issues opened the door for Bella. Now, with Pedro rumored to support a reboot and HBO desperate to salvage the IP, Dever is allegedly back on the table. No official announcements yet. But leaks from casting circles suggest HBO is already workshopping reboot concepts, with Dever attached. Some fans are calling it redemption, others say it's erasure. But one thing is clear, Bella's chapter is over. And Caitlyn's? It might just be beginning. The fallout didn't stop with HBO. Suddenly, other projects Bella Ramsey was attached to went silent. One upcoming film, previously announced with Bella in the lead, quietly removed her name from the IMDb page. A limited series she'd been rumored to headline, no longer moving forward, according to insiders. And behind the scenes, Hollywood was whispering. She's too risky, one casting director allegedly said. There's just too much noise around her name right now. Producers became skittish. PR teams flagged her as a liability. Even projects that weren't directly connected to The Last of Us began to cool off, fast. Bella's team reportedly launched a full-scale damage control campaign. Carefully scripted interviews, canceled appearances, a sudden halt to her once active online presence. But it might have been too late, because once Hollywood decides your name's a problem, it doesn't matter how good your acting is. It matters how clean your image is. And right now, Bella's isn't clean. It's scorched. While the Hollywood machine worked in the background, fans did what they always do. They took sides and went to war. On one side, Bella supporters. They blamed Pedro for abandoning her. They called out misogyny, ageism, and toxic fandoms that refused to give her a chance. She was doomed from the beginning, one fan posted. Pedro could have defended her, and he didn't. On the other side, critics. To them, Bella's leaked audio, snarky social posts, and offhanded remarks were all signs of someone out of control. She mocked the fans, they said. She never respected the role, and Pedro saw it coming. Pedro, for his part, trended as both a hero and a traitor. TikTok was flooded with memes of Bella crying, Pedro walking away, and Caitlin Dever digitally edited into past Last of Us scenes. Reddit forums broke into digital riots. Twitter threads became echo chambers of blame. This wasn't just backlash anymore, it was a full-blown fandom civil war. And The Last of Us wasn't just a show, it had become the battlefield. Amid the noise, one name stayed conspicuously silent. HBO. No comment about the firing. No confirmation of a reboot. No public defense of Pedro. No denial of the tape. Just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Insiders say HBO executives were blindsided by how fast the controversy exploded. They underestimated how messy the fanbase had become and how unprepared Bella was for the spotlight. Now, critics are pointing fingers at HBO. Some say the network failed to protect their young star. Others say they mishandled the PR from the start. And with the series now dead, the brand itself is bleeding credibility. What was once HBO's most prestigious, buzzworthy adaptation now looks like a smoldering wreck, and they're scrambling to cover the fire. So, here we are. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey started as co-stars in one of the biggest video game adaptations of all time. But now, Pedro is thriving, locked into 2 mega franchises, and rumored to have helped engineer a clean reboot of The Last of Us. Bella is blocked, blacklisted, and erased. The leaked tape, real or not, was just the spark. The fallout revealed cracks that had been building for months. Did Pedro block Bella because of what she said, or because of what she became? Was Bella pushed out for being too reactive, or was she hung out to dry by a co-star who chose silence over solidarity? One thing's for sure, this wasn't just a creative shift, it was a public execution. And for The Last of Us, a franchise built on survival, it couldn't survive this.